been working on quite a bit of research that I'm getting ready to present at conferences, really focusing on this context of behavioral agility. And what is behavioral agility, right? Being able to adapt to situations. I took that research and teaching people to be able to adapt to situational circumstances. And that is, to me, is what I feel like when I listen to everybody, those are core competency things that our youth are missing, right? But I'm gonna take this and focus on a kind of double-edged sword solution, because part of my research as I'm getting ready to present, I want to kind of read you some stats. All right, so when we talk about the implications of AI and how it's going to change the landscape, right now they're saying by 2035, a lot of jobs are going to be wiped out due to AI. A recent survey from Handshake, if you're familiar with workforce development, career development, 62% of graduating seniors, they are really concerned about the impact of AI technologies on their possibility for their careers, right? Now, let's talk about the people who want to help them. People who are working in this career readiness space, people who are running career readiness spaces in higher education. 64% of those people, they want to help, but they don't have the skills to be able to help the students who are graduating, right? So when I look at that, and then look at other pieces of research that was published by the National Association of Colleges and employers are shifting to skills-based type of interviews. So they don't want to just see your resume anymore, right? They want to be able to actually see what skills you have as a person who's coming into this role. What can you show me in terms of portfolio and skills that are transferable? Okay, so this is, I'm laying the groundwork here, because what I'm going to say to you in terms of solutions is in terms of how we look at some of the partnerships. Most of you have said it. It's not about just teaching people theory. It's about giving students experiences. So one is going to be about those connections and partnerships and giving students the hands-on experience. So two, when we talk about meaningful applied curriculum, that's the teacher in me, right? It's not just teaching students theory, but we have to train the trainer, teach the teachers how to teach. When we talk about this concept of behavior agility and being able to have transferable skills and adapt to situations, emotional intelligence, all those good things and dynamics, we kind of have to start that in the K through 12 and then translate it to K through 20, and that's what's going to help get students more prepared for the job place. Because we're not just living in a gig economy, we're living in an AI economy, right? You know, these different companies leveraging AI is a tool versus being in fear of it that it's going to steal your job. So we need to focus on, again, those meaningful partnerships that are going to get students the experience, and they're talking about the systems. We need to focus on, again, applied curriculum. When I was an instructor, I did service learning with my students, and I created that ecosystem where it wasn't just a service learning project. I had them going to the community meetings, speaking up, so they were learning about politics. They were getting some job experience because I had partnerships with community organizations. I made them do a resume, that was just my health class, my basic health class, and I was doing that as an educator to try to get those experiences for my students. And then we need to be teaching the skills training in terms of what does behavior adaptability or behavior agility look like, teaching them. So when we talk about using these assessments and different things to really equip students to help them to become more aware of who they are and how they show up in the workplace, those are things that we need to kind of be doing from a system standpoint to round them out, prepare them for the workplace. But on top of that, I'm going to come on the other side of that and say that we also need to be training and educating parents and teachers, because again, if the students, if 62% of the people who are graduating are concerned, but then 64% of the people who are supposed to be there to help train them are not prepared, then we got to take this approach twofold. Okay. And I'll stop right there.
Wonderful.